Vice Chairman of the committee, Mr. Buchanan.
Mr. Secretary, thank you for being here today. There's no doubt that your knowledge of finance and global markets bring a unique and welcome perspective to the Treasury, and this country is fortunate to have your leadership. Since coming to Congress, I've seen administrations from both parties, I'll say that up front, in terms of what's happened with the debt deficit. I want to get your perspective. I mean, the reality is, last 20 years, over $20 trillion in additional debt. I remember in the 80s, frankly, where we had the junk bond markets. If I look at all these younger people out here, what we're leaving them is deplorable. And I just want to make sure that we're giving as much consideration as we can to that. 49 out of 50 governors have to balance the budget. It's my biggest issue up here. It's not about one party or the other. It's both parties have done little or nothing in this area, and it needs to get addressed. When you spend last year, you take in $5 trillion, spend $7 trillion, and you average over $1 trillion a year for over the last 20 years. We need to get real about it, because again, in the 70s, in the 80s, all the junk bond, I seen what happened with all the markets and all that. So can you I know you touched on it, but could you, we'll get into the pro-growth things in a minute. Can you just touch on it, your thoughts about where we're at and where we're going as it relates to that? I know we've got people looking at making cuts, but I do want to get your perspective on that.
Congressman, I've enjoyed our conversations in the past. You, as a very successful private businessman, understand the power of this tax bill, especially in the expensing. You and I discussed it in great detail. And look, we do not have a revenue problem. We have a spending problem. We are right in line with the long-term revenues of approximately 17 to 18% of GDP. What we've seen here is a blowout in the spending. And as I was saying, last fiscal year was something we have never seen before. We have never seen a deficit to GDP this large when we were not at war, or not in a recession, or not in a pandemic.
Yeah,
But
Mr.
we could
Secretary,
call that a war.
we only have 5 minutes. Let me just mention just real quickly. You mentioned, and I just want to get this in, that 100% expensing is like jet fuel, and 199 is huge. These are huge opportunities to make a big difference for small business, but to me, it's because I'm so passionate about it, because they're the job creators. So can you comment on that, your thoughts in terms of 199A and 100% expensing?
Congressman, I'll very quickly comment on two things. It is the 100% expensing that is powerful, and we are adding not only expensing for equipment, as in President Trump's first term, we are adding 100% for factory structures. So if you want to build your factory here in the U.S., we want it to be tax efficient. We want you to have regulatory certainty. We want you to have quick permitting, and that is likely the single most powerful aspect. As the ranking member discussed, on the 400,000 level, that unfortunately is a disaster for small business in the 199. Most small businesses are pass-through entities, and those small businesses are substantially above that 400,000 threshold.
Yeah, let me just add just a closing point. I do want to make on the whole thing of full expensing, it's probably the most powerful tool, whether you're buying or selling. Someone that's been in business for 40 years or so, I can tell you firsthand, it's a powerful tool. It's a job-creating tool. I did want to have you comment the other thing on making, I'd say in Florida, I was chairman of the Florida Chamber, one of the big issues there is about making the tax, whatever we do on taxes, making it permanent, so they got more certainty, they can do planning and investing in terms of going forward. Do you want to add anything to that?
Yes, sir. I was with a group of business leaders earlier this week, and they were telling me that they are, in fact, holding back on CapEx because they need for the tax bill to pass so that they will have certainty that the 100% expensing will come back. I think that we will see a sharp upward break in terms of CapEx as soon as we pass the One Big Beautiful Bill.
Thank you, and thanks for your leadership. We're excited you're here today.
Thank you.